Alright, what's up? Gonna be talking about Felina today, her current state in 2022, and whether she's still strong overall or not. So to get started, I want to talk a little bit about her before the release of Mythics. Before perma-stalling got patched, before a lot of big changes to the game, like evolutions, like the elemental challenges, and all that sort of stuff. And so in this state of the game, Felina is probably your best bet for DPS overall, right? You'd pair Felina with Mighty Hellhound, could pretty much sufficiently one-shot everything. And then, after IQT was added, Felina was also a very important source of damage in the challenge, right? And so, yeah, overall, she was very strong, gonna be your main method of farming JR Nightmare consistently, right? Does a lot more damage than Slime King. Is one of the few monsters who do have a full map ability that is capable of doing so much damage, right? Crispy had a full map ability. I don't think it was to the extent of strength that Felina has. Slime King full map ability, of course, weaker than Felina, and this is also before Evo Archimedes came out, which currently rivals Felina for similar damage after the evolution, right? And so in this stage of the game, again, Felina, very strong, go-to source of damage. You could always fall back on Felina as a primary damage dealer, even in something like IQT. But just getting out of what she was in I think in a less developed game state and getting into a more developed game state, being now with the introduction of Mythics, units that definitely rival her in damage, rival her use in the newly introduced elemental challenges, right? And so now I think the use of Felina is a lot less common, because originally this was like the dream in the end game, right? Get your level 500 Felina, get her at 3 gold, get your level 400 Mighty or Speedy, or yeah, get the level 10 Speedy plus Hellhound. That was the DPS dream. But now you have a lot of new units that really contest Felina in her original spot, right? Most notably, you got Amaterasu, right? When you compare Amaterasu to Felina, a 1 bronze Amaterasu compared to a 3 gold Felina, does the Amaterasu will still do significantly more damage, right? As you see here, easily doing hundreds of trillions of damage, whereas Felina was, not always hitting the trillions even. And especially with KPR, and the probability of Electro Evolutions being out soon, Amaterasu is just in pretty much every way outclasses Felina, right? Cheaper to upgrade, more damage, more use in the end game. I believe Amaterasu's ability also hits immediately, although that doesn't really matter too much. And so yeah, overall, Amaterasu is just going to be the better monster, right? If Felina in certain elemental challenges, in something like IQT, Zeus is going to be better. Wrath of Volcano Goddess, Jirai is going to be better. KPR, as we said here, Amaterasu is going to be better. You want to farm classic levels, it's no longer with Clyde, Flamey, Speedy, it's going to be using Jirai and full map support. And in that scenario, Felina is still used. Felina is still strong in classic levels to get those maximum efficiency classic level farming, because she does still provide full map support. She's just, of course, not as vital to the extent that she was before, right? And so when you take all of this into account, how strong she was before, how strong she was now, you have to wonder, right? Is she really still worth it to upgrade when you have all these mythics, all these new units, all these new levels that Felina doesn't really handle as well anymore? She can handle the classic levels well, but Amaterasu handles the classic levels better and is cheaper. She can be used in some budget nightmare level setups, but again, Amaterasu, or one of the other mythics does that better, right? But I think even with all these changes to sort of the monster meta in the game, Felina is still not a bad unit, right? Because you have to remember that nothing's changed with the classic levels, I believe, and nothing's really changed with Felina herself, right? I guess the biggest change, again, other than all the new content, would be the lack of perma stalling. Even then, that's a downside that all the other units have to deal with, right? It may make Zeus seem a little bit better, I guess, because he does achieve something very close to a permastall. But other than that, all the other units feel the negative effects of the lack of permastalling, right? And I think, you know, even now, as you see here, you know, Felina can still be used to get nightmare level completes for your weekly achievement red gems, right? She can still be used to get some progress and elemental challenges, although, you know, I wouldn't really recommend it. I don't think a lot of other people would either. Um, and I think the time that you do upgrade someone like Felina now is when you do lack other of these other stronger mythics, right? Let's say you don't have an Amaterasu, you don't have Jiraiya, don't have Zeus, right? You don't have all these, you know, stupidly rare units, 0.63% drop rate. You gotta wait like a month in between times to get them, right? These are units that are not easy to get, whereas Felina is very common compared to them. You know, you'll pretty easily get her to 3 gold stars just through farming JR normal, JR hard. And so in that sense, you know, she's still very strong, right? She can still get nightmare level complete, still get you more red gems. It's just that she can't be used in the elemental challenges anymore, as like a main carry, right? Because originally, you know, she was able to beat IQT through the help of perma-stalling, and I believe before Pixio decided to make the level a lot harder. So yeah, Felina, elemental challenges, completely useless. But let's say you do lack these mythics, right? You just upgrade Felina to beat the nightmare levels to get your red gems. Otherwise, you know, early, mid-game, again, not too useful to upgrade her. I think overall, to just sum up everything I've said with, you know, how she was doing before, how she's doing now, she's just a nice budget unit, right? For people who don't have mythics, but, you know, who still want to progress in the game, right? They want to progress to get red gems, to get more mythics or a higher chance of getting mythics, right? You just use Felina, 40 million gold, you know, twice the cost. But sometimes you just have to do that because you aren't lucky enough, or you don't want to make you know, various commitments to getting the mythics. Yeah, that's pretty much gonna be it for this video. I feel like I rambled for a little bit. Anyways, yeah, like, subscribe. Gonna try to make a ton of videos on over the weekend. We're gonna push to 300 subs, and yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. Felina, decent if you don't have mythics. Not the most ideal. Yeah, see ya.